Okay, so this is from my Anthropology 225. Nature and environment, if there's a difference, your ideas about both. So we can start with some basic questions, like what's your name, your age, and your grade?
My name's Zach Zimmerman. I'm 22 and I'm an alum.
Okay, so how would you define nature?
I think that a lot of people try to define nature by like greenery and things that are outside of society. But I think that it's important to recognize that humans are also a part of nature. So I don't really have a strict line about like what's
Yeah,
nature. I think that nature is anything that's natural, and even civilization and
it's
humanity is
yeah.
naturally
So you
occurring.
see people as agents of nature or more like manifestations of nature?
I think we give ourselves too much credit if we try and raise ourselves above nature or think of
Exactly.
ourselves
Yeah.
as masters of nature. I think we're as full of blumbering accidents as any bird
Yeah.
that accidentally wipes out a species of bug.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think, I don't think we're above nature, and I don't think we're outside of nature. So I think everything from like the arboretum
Which is where we
to
are right
any
now. This is Arboretum.
yeah, to a highway to
So you include like man-made structures in your
mhm,
idea of nature?
yeah, and like extraterrestrial structures as well. So like comets are a part of nature.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like
outside of Earth, you're
yeah,
going like okay,
yeah,
even
anything
to
that's naturally occurring, which is
or manifest. So
everything, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so you include man-made structures in a list of naturally occurring. So you because they're made
hmm
by
Right, just
they're
like
like
an anthill.
okay. So yeah, okay,
Yeah, like
that's
a city is like an anthill in a way,
that's really interesting.
and we're still, you know, surrounded by what we call like the natural world, which is there's no difference, but you know we're still influencing that um, the sphere of like other animals, even though we are animals,
Yeah.
and plants and um, all forms of life and not living things, and um, we're influencing them, we're influenced by them, we're interacting with them, we're a part of that environment. And
Is there a difference for you between environment and nature, or
I think
are those words
environment,
are those words interchangeable for you, or
I wouldn't say they're completely interchangeable. I think that environment is more about the space itself. Like the environment is looking at like the setting in which various natural occurrences will happen.
mm-hmm.
Like, and I think you can sort of specify things with environment, but when you say nature, it's a little bit more ambiguous, maybe,
Yeah.
or just widespread. Like,
So you consider like nature to be
mhm,
larger, and then environment would be a part
right.
with different parts of nature.
Right. I don't think there's strict definitions. I mean, like, it's all sort of semantics. I
Mm-hmm.
think, like, I'm a part of nature because I'm an animal inside of, like, interacting with other natural objects naturally.
Yeah.
But I'm also an environment because there's tons of, like, little microorganisms, like, crawling around my
Yeah.
arm. And though, I mean, they're natural. I'm natural. Everything around us is natural. But, like, that's an environment. The Arboretum's an environment. They're like an environment is sort of a space, I
Yeah.
guess, whereas nature is a little bit broader.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that that's like a denotation. So,
And where are you?
sort of,
Where are you from? Like, would you consider that to be influenced by your ideas, or
um, yeah, not really. I guess I move around a lot. So, I lived in the northeast of Italy, Washington State, and New York mostly, and now I live here. But I yeah,
would your idea of nature be different for like say in New York than here, or would it be like pretty non-changing?
I think they'd be the same. I think living in places like New York and Seattle sort of helped me understand that like even like super metropolitan area is still a natural like colliding of accidents
Mm-hmm.
and living and non-living objects. But um, I think uh, yeah, no, I think probably like um, my family's sort of like influenced me in some ways with how I think about that, everything
Yeah.
naturally. Um, but I don't know if we're like from anywhere. We have sort of like English heritage, I guess, but
Yeah.
but and like that sort of is the biggest culture that like influences how I grew up, is like English and New English um, mentality, and like how that's sort of how I relate to things as well, I guess. But I've also kind of come away from that. So I think in a lot of English culture there is sort of that separation between like society um, and
Nature.
the wild.
Or the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like especially during like the Victorian era and afterward, like that was really emphasized. But I don't feel that way. But I'm sure that it's that my family history has somehow affected like how I relate to these things.
How you see that. So how do you interact with nature? How would you say that you interact